It could be anywhere, appearing when you least expect it. It can colonize your body, melt your eyes, and even kill you. It's Acanthamoeba. I'm your host, Andrea, and in today's episode of Scary Science, we'll be talking about Acanthamoeba, also known as the Trojan horse of the microbial world and the bane of optometrists everywhere. Acanthamoeba is a protozoa. More specifically, it's a free-living amoeba, meaning it can survive and reproduce in the environment without a host. And it's found pretty much everywhere. Sewage, fresh water, salt water, soils, pipes, air conditioning units, vegetables, dental equipment, dialysis machines, hot springs, and even Antarctica. Acanthamoeba's life cycle is comprised of two stages, an active trophozoite stage and a hardy double-walled cyst stage. The trophozoite phase is the infective phase, and the trophozoites replicate by mitosis. In the cyst form, Acanthamoeba is incredibly hardy. Chlorination is very ineffective, and across the board we can see that ozone and UV have higher CT values for 2-log deactivation than E. coli. Research is limited on the removal efficiency of filtration, but a 2017 study on free-living amoeba removal efficiencies of drinking water treatment plants in Egypt found that conventional drinking water plants achieved a less than a 1-log removal of free-living amoeba cysts, even drinking water plants using slow sand filtration. Trophozoites and cysts can enter the human body through nasal passageways, broken skin, or through the eyes. For most immunocompetent people, the biggest problem associated with Acanthamoeba is called Acanthamoeba keratitis, a severe infection of the cornea that can cause permanent blindness. Luckily, if caught early and treated aggressively, effective therapy is available, though it involves hourly eye drops for several days. This infection is most commonly found in soft contact lens wearers and is typically avoidable by following good contact lens hygiene. Overall, the prevalence is fairly low, about 2 cases per million contact lens wearers. But in 2007, there was an outbreak that was traced back to a contaminated supply of contact solution. In immunocompromised persons, Acanthamoeba poses a whole new slew of threats. It can cause a serious infection of the brain and spinal cord known as GAE, which can cause paralysis and in most cases is fatal. Luckily, GAE is not very common. As of the year 2000, the total recorded global incidence of GAE was 120 cases. 84 of those cases were recorded in the US and 50 were in AIDS patients. So how can we tell if waters are contaminated with Acanthamoeba? To find out how many viable Acanthamoeba are in a sample, you can culture Acanthamoeba on a low nutrient concentration agar or non-nutrient agar in the presence of living or killed bacteria. Or you can culture exenically on a nutrient medium with antibiotics. If culturing in the presence of bacteria, you want to use non-nutrient agar because otherwise the bacteria can rapidly increase, making it hard for the amoeba to proliferate. You can then quantify the culture using the most probable number technique. PCR is also a commonly used method. So earlier I mentioned that Acanthamoeba is known as the Trojan horse of the microbial world. So what's with that? While Acanthamoeba can thrive in the environment or a human host, it can also serve as a host for other pathogens. Some pathogens can even replicate inside Acanthamoeba. Several pathogens have been found to use Acanthamoeba as a host. Legionella, Cryptosporidium, poliovirus, adenovirus, E. coli, and M. tuberculosis, to name a few. What's worrisome is that Acanthamoeba is a free-living amoeba. It can survive without a host. It can also revert to a cyst state when environmental conditions are harsh, and the cyst can survive conventional water treatment techniques, bringing other pathogens engulfed in its cytoplasm along for the ride. This has even raised concerns about Acanthamoeba being used as a biological weapon. EPA considered adding Acanthamoeba to the contaminant candidate list, but in 2003 decided against it because regulation would not present a meaningful opportunity for health risk reduction for the people served by public drinking water systems. Scientists and engineers have found the fact that Acanthamoeba can act as a vector for other pathogens to be really alarming. There's been a huge uptick in the amount of research done on Acanthamoeba as we try to better understand the role it plays in the spread of pathogens like Legionella. So, what did we learn today? Acanthamoeba is a free-living amoeba that is ubiquitous in the environment. It can cause serious harm to the eyes and central nervous system. It has 2 life stages, the trophozoite and the cyst. It is very resistant to chlorine, and it is the Trojan horse of the pathogen world. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching. See you next time on
Scary Science.